Greetings, Jedi traders. David here of TradingFibs.com to bring you the daily trend for week 2, day 2. It is Tuesday, January 10, 2017. As always, please seek financial advisory when trading with your money, as these videos are for educational purposes only. To support your knowledge of the market, see what's going through my head on any given day. Always make sure you have a solid trading plan and always manage your stop when placing a trade. All right, let's jump right in. Trading session recap here, week 2, day 2. Let's take a look at the pre-market trend here. Some of the daily outlook levels. Just a quick NQ. Again, Globex session was in a chop. Pre-market trend in a chop. We're looking at the 50-39 up ahead. Resistance both on a daily here and looking at, yeah, that was the daily and the 4-hour chart, I believe. And then the ES here was looking at also upside here, 2281.25, as well as the 4-hour chart up here at 2273 as price action was holding down here. So the looking for levels of concern, upside was 2281. All right, so let's roll here and see what happened here. As we see oil price action coming down again. Really a chop session in the AM to a pop, which we'll see here on the charts momentarily, and then eventually retrace after those highs towards the mid-session. Crude really the trend of the session. Nothing real substantial in the news today, and economic highlights throughout the week. Multiple Fed speakers, but nothing technically as far as any economic data coming out to really sway this market at this point. So Globex session was flat. We still did pull back, but for the most part, U.S. session ended up uptrend from today's open. All right, let's jump right into the charts. Again, you can always check out any of the recap charts that I have here from the day posted there on Twitter with a small explanation as to why I was looking at that chart at the time. Again, these charts are seen here in live during the trading session. All right, let's jump into the charts. Take a look at the daily gaps. As price action, we could really see here on the daily chart is just continuing to move sideways. Really hasn't broke up. So that's the YM with the 20K up ahead. The Dow also not being able to ring that bell. We're almost 200 points down from there. ES, same picture. Really inside the previous session from Friday. Haven't really been able to budge from there, but it's the NQ that continues to rally up point past the 5K. Again, you can see we pushed up there to that mid 50s and just seemed to retrace after that. So no go we didn't really go any higher than today's resistance levels. We'll show you that here in a moment. Really, the crude has been piling it down here from a high almost of 55 down to 50, so almost 500, 400 plus ticks downside here, leaving an open gap yesterday and closing out the gap here from December 15th. Taking a look at the AD lines across the board, we could see price action on the NYSE was holding here at 750 for a little bit this morning. That's mid-session, 1030 reversal. Price action pop upside, and there comes the retrace on the NYSE. As you can see, the YM holding to the 20 here, mid-session. Actually, that's PM. No, that was mid-session there as it broke upside and then pulled back to a level of support here at negative 12 through the PM session. Really no any further. NQ again, similar picture up to 45, pulls back to the 10 and pretty much settles out. ES, same picture, nice U curve here, V reversal, and holds here at level 0. What the market's waiting for, I don't know. It doesn't matter. Always got to be ready in both directions. All right, let's take a look at the big picture as we started out the day. Again, NQ here, daily picture. I was looking again, if we go back to that... Go back to the daily outlook there on the NQ. We were looking at 50.39 and then 50.78 if there was any momentum. And as we could see, price action got exactly there, that 50.39. A little bit above, that's all right. Not saying that's the end of the line, but that sure is a level of interest. And 50.39 held together all across the board from the daily, 4-hour, and the 60-minute chart. Take a look at the YM. Let's go to the daily 4-hour and 60-minute. Again, price action not be able to ring that 20K bell. So we're sitting here between 20,000, 688. So we look down. We also have a 50 MA down here. So we go to the 4-hour chart. A lot of chop here as price action ran upside here. This was yesterday's session. Again, today pushing up here to 19,883. So if I don't have the levels on the daily, I start to look at the 4-hour. I see the upside targets. And then I go to the 60-minute and I see 19,863 lining up with the top of the range again. There's that little point up here to 19,883, holding also on the hourly. Again, the bigger trend here to the downside on the 50-144, holding to the just barely crossing over here. So downside and also downside. And so momentarily we are currently in a downtrend on the YM on the bigger time frames. Price action, and then of course is in a bigger picture of the daily, which is completely in an uptrend at this point. But on the shorter time frames, as we come down, we're obviously going to see smaller. We're going to see more chop, and we're going to see shifts in trend. So right now, shift a little bit here. Again, a lot of indecision as we saw in the daily gaps here as we move sideways on the YM, whether we reach up that or we come down and pull back and test some lower levels. So we'll take a look at some of those lower levels here in a moment, but that's our big picture here. Again, in a very small zone in between major support, resistance, and support down here. Major support, resistance, and resistance. That's pretty much what we kept to in the range today. Let's take a look at the big picture on the ES as we see price action holding inside resistance here. Again, it's going to take a lot of movement to get us down to major support resistance, which is all the way down here around 21.25. That's our lower levels. But here in the ES, we were looking for 22.81 today to the upside. Never got there. 22.73. And if we take a look at the chart, actually, as posted this morning on the ES here, we could see price action to the upside right here. 22.73 on the 4-hour chart would have been the first level that I would have been looking for. But again, shooting for 22.81.25. To the upside, never got up there. That would have been right here on the daily 4-hour chart and the day 60-minute chart. Again, 51.44 is holding upside. As price action broke upside here to the 22.73 level, which evened out with both resistance and overbought on the 60-minute and the 4-hour chart. Resistance held 22.73. ES pulled back to bottom of range, and 22.65 was the level that you would have been looking for off resistance, major support resistance. Price action failed here after pushing up a little bit and ended up finishing around here around 22.64. All right, so there's the big picture. Now you have that picture in mind, and what we do each morning is we go to the intraday pick, and let's start with the NQ here as we see on a smaller time frame. Again, we have our daily. We know where our daily picture is, but we take a look at the 100-tick chart, which gives us two multiple time frames here. We have the MML charts, the Murray Math level charts, as we see levels of support. And again, we could always drop down to a 15-minute chart also, but here on the 100-tick chart or even a 10-tick range chart, here we see price action resistance. There it was 50.39. So that's where that number comes from in the morning. I write that down. I have that in mind. I have it labeled on the chart. 50.39 price action gets up there. Does that mean you bail on the setup? No, not necessarily. It just means it's a level of interest. Watch price action there. See if it turns around. If it turns around, that might just be the high of the day. And sure enough, 50.39 plus some, and we really never got back upside. We also have these multiple levels of resistance up here, as we can see not only the top of resistance but also an overbought level here on the shorter time frame. As we hold above the 51.44 cloud, again, if we break that 5K, we'll look down to the major support resistance here at 49.21, but we got some ways to go there. So we'll look down to the intermediate resistance here, 50.19 and 5,000 tomorrow. Anything back to the upside, we'll be looking at 50, 58, or anything on a smaller time frame as well, 15-minute or the range charts. Taking a look into tomorrow, taking a look at the YM. Let's go to the ES chart first. ES chart here, seeing resistance upside here, 22.81, which we weren't able to get. We're looking at 22.50 downside on the daily, which puts us into a 75-tick chart. We also have overbought up here, and we have the resistance here at 2265. But again, 2250 lining up. So that would be my first level of support to the downside if we find it. If not, and we break that, we'll look to the next common line, which should be around 2218.75 with a pit stop here at 2234. And finally, wrapping it up, taking a look at the YM as we lead into tomorrow. YM again trying to make a go up there, that 20K. If we break that 20K, we'll look to 2313 as the upper targets. But anything downside is we're not able to hold and move sideways here. I'm still looking at 19,688 as a level of support. Maybe if we break that, well, not maybe, if we break that with some momentum, I'll be looking for the 50 MA first for support, and then downside here at 19, it would be all the way down here to 18,750. Not ready to get down there yet, but if we look here, 19,688 lining up with the 75 tick chart on the YM, that would be my first level of concern. As we can see here, multiple levels. Again, the YM reset. It's Murray math levels here, and we can see the wide range of resistance as we are holding 50 above the 144. So if we break that major support resistance, we'll then be looking down to 531.492, which would still not yet push us down to the 50 MA, but then we'll be talking about support off the 5144 EMA cloud. So again, YM, obviously be ready in both directions. Still looking for that 20K bell, but downside, watch for that level, 19,688 for that first level of support. All right, last I wanted to finish up as we do each day, look at either a trend chart as we saw here on the crude. Again, crude, let me just pull up here a couple of shots here as we see the crude price action. You have your level resistance MML lines if you're watching those, or whatever other trend strategies you might be watching. Again, you have the Heikin Ashi bar price action underneath the 5144 cloud. Price action runs down the support. You got yourself a nice entry, and then throughout the day, Murray math lines will, on the smaller time frames, will reset. And so it's all about the HA bars. So here we are in the AM session. Price action running down, hits the open gap. We're starting to see price action continue momentum. You got another re-entry after price action rejects off the 5144, and then all the way down to the reversal. Now here we still have the same resistance, price action flowing down, nothing more than a pullback. Stop would be up here at major support resistance or the break even, and price action continues. No reason to exit over here, just continue in trend. 5 is below the 34. So Jedi traders, no reason to exit at the levels, simply stay in trend. HA bars, now if you bailed on this, and here's a great opportunity to get back in. Solid Heikin Ashi bars with 534 in trend. 50 was below the 144, so we're sitting here to the downside. And price action eventually reset itself. And we go back and take a look at the previous picture as we just saw. Price action was up here, resistance at 52.34, and now what we have is we have a new level of resistance. So that doesn't matter. Obviously, we're going to have new levels reset themselves down here. All good. We've passed the open gap. We've had another re-entry on crude. Again, you might have bailed on this. Your stop was at break even. You were taking out a major support resistance. Nothing wrong with that. You get back in, price action back to the downside, and you're moving down to support, and you're still riding it down, and eventually towards the close, that's where we ended up for the day. So in the end, yeah, big picture looks great, but still it's the HA bars to the open gap, which was around that support level. MML lines reset themselves. Price action moves back down. Your stop was probably up here around break even, major support. Price action reset. Now you have a new level of support downside, and you ride the remainder of the day to the downside here at 50.78. And that's exactly where price action ended up closing around for the day. So nice way, as we said before, well, we can take a look at the higher time frame on the 75 tick chart, but that's how we use it on an intraday. This is a 10 tick range chart. MML lines are always going to change a little bit quicker, but that's how you can use it. Price action breaks under the 51.44. Use any of these key levels for direction, for taking off a first contract. You can always bail at that setup, but a nice way to see the intraday in sync with the bigger picture as we saw on the charts here today. All right, at Jedi Traders, as we lead into tomorrow, economic calendar, again, nothing really to impact the market in any significant way. MBA mortgage applications, we got crude report out tomorrow, so again, crude moving on a lot of news reports out there. Fed speakers lining it up for Thursday and Friday there. A couple Red Star events, but really leading into next week as the inauguration and seeing where this country might be headed. Hey guys, that concludes an insight into the daily trend, technical momentum of the indices, key future markets. Feel free to stop by tradingfibs.com or any of my social media outlets to obtain more information. My mantra, one simple strategy, any market, any charts, any time frame will keep you disciplined. You can find me every day on Twitter at TradingFibs. And as always, I leave the crystal ball to the experts. I only watch what's in front of me and on my charts. And as always, leave your bias at the door when trading. Now, somehow I forgot to get to the charts here today. I don't know how that slipped by me. There we go. We took a look at crude today. Again, NQ. We saw, we're talking about at least, but price action, there it was chopping. In the same picture all across the board. A lot of chop here this morning inside Globex. So you pretty much avoid a lot of the setups and then finally a breakout of the Globex high. That was the move for the session, and price action came back down. As well as the YMES, same picture. Look at that V reversal all the way up. So you had the breakout here, breakout Globex high, and then right back down. Took that motion out. So not an easy day. Had an uptrend, but pretty much almost finished out flat for the most part. Again, we saw the 6J, the crude to the downside, but for the most part, gold, you could see had the same picture. And then 6J and 6E, same picture as well. So pretty much a flat session with micro probabilities of trend, both up and down. And that's why we say be ready in both directions every day. Hey guys, make sure you check out my pre-market trend 15 minutes before the market opens every day. For those of you that are interested in joining us, our community of like-minded traders seeking those high probability setups, hey guys, feel free to email me, David at tradingfibs.com. You can join us on Thursdays or Fridays to view the live charts setups as they happen in the trading day. Hey guys, have yourselves a Blue Zone day wherever you may be. Good day, good night, and good trading to you.